Hello and welcome back to Retired Happy again. This is your Retired Happy friend Carolyn from Mississippi. And today we are having another little rainy day, so I'm getting tired of saying that and you're probably tired of hearing it, but we do have sunny days in between when I'm not videoing. Maisie's right here at my feet and she's had one of her little hemp calming tablets. So today I hope everybody had a really good, blessed a Memorial Day observance, and we'll call it an observance rather than a celebration because of what Memorial Day means. So today I've had several requests for the yeast rolls. So next week I'll be making the yeast rolls. So thank you, because I'm out of bread and I need to make some more bread. And when I make my bread, I have a really good recipe and I'll show it to you step by step. And the last time I made bread was in March. So that shows you I don't eat very much bread. But when I do make my bread, I have not bought grocery store loaf bread. And I don't even know how long it's been. But I do buy the Gold Miners sourdough bread. It has no preservatives in it, and it is just good sourdough bread. And I haven't gotten into making sourdough and having the starter that I have to feed and keep up with, but I do make my yeast bread. So when I make my yeast bread, I always make one loaf in my loaf pan, and I use that for slicing, and then the other half of the recipe I make some into dinner rolls, some I make into a bun that is big enough for a hamburger bun. And I don't mean to eat many hamburgers, so I only make a few of the big ones. But if I have a sloppy Joe sandwich or a hamburger, then I want a little bit bigger bread. So that will be next week. So today, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm making the jambalaya, and I call this the Mississippi jambalaya because it's not really like true New Orleans or Louisiana jambalaya, but I think you'll like this recipe. It's simple, it's easy, very quick, and very nutritious. So then the bread pudding, I have the bread pudding recipe, and I'll make that for you and show you the bread pudding. And then our project today is the Crochet Along With Me little gift bag that's easy, quick. You know, at this stage in retirement, I like doing things and I like learning new things, but I don't want it to be difficult and I don't want it to take a long time. Now, if you do like difficult projects and bigger that take longer, there's a lot of that on YouTube and a lot of it on Pinterest. But on my channel, we're going to do things that we enjoy, that bring us joy and happiness in our life, keep us active mentally, emotionally, socially, get out, whatever you enjoy doing, whether it's playing cards, gardening, going for long walks, cooking, sewing, crocheting, knitting. Stay active and do something that gives you purpose and meaning and enjoyment at this stage in our life. It may be just taking the grandkids for a walk or baking cookies for when the grandkids, or in my case, I have 9 great-grandchildren. So when the grandkids come over, it's fun to have a fresh cookie to give them or something to stick in a little bag and take home with them. So anyway, whatever gives you joy and happiness in life, that's what you need to focus on and do. So in the comments, if you have any comments on what you'd like to do, any projects that you're interested in, just let me know, because I have done sewing, I have done quilting, we've done the crochet, different projects, and so I'm up to any of that I can do. I used to knit a long time ago when I was a young married mom, and I haven't knitted in a while, but that's something that I'm thinking of going to the yarn shop and picking up knitting again, just to stimulate my brain to learn something new and a new project that I look forward to. So I'm so glad you joined me today. Thank you very much. I'm rambling, so I'm going to quit rambling and get to the jambalaya. But the, the good word for today, this I saw on one of my high school friends, unfortunately has passed away, but this was on part of his obituary, and it's things that he said his mother taught him when he was growing up, and I just thought it was so good. This is what I want to teach my grandchildren and great-grandchildren, but the wording of this and how they put it into words I really like. So maybe you'll get something out of this or enjoy how it's put into words on what we want to accomplish. This is what his mother taught him. Always do your best at everything you do. Put your family first. Choose a career that you really like and enjoy, and follow God's commandments. And then the big one, treat others the way you want to be treated. So I thought that was really good, and it put into words what I want to teach my children to do, to be respectful, to be kind, to be considerate of others, and they put God first in everything we do and seek God's will and guidance and follow His commandments. And the golden rule, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. So there you go. Share your smile with everybody along your way today. You never know if they've just lost a loved one. You never know if they just lost a job. They may have had a car wreck just before you saw them, and they're wondering how in the world they're going to pay to have their car fixed, or bad weather, or right now we're having so many tornadoes and destruction around. But no matter, everybody's going through something, and everybody can use your smile today. Doesn't cost anything, it's free. So thank you so much for joining, and come back next week for rolls. Thank you. Well, it's time to get the jambalaya on to cook. So this is what we've been waiting for. So I have my skillet on the stove. I've turned the heat on it, and starting to heat my pan. I'm going to put some olive oil in. And the basic recipe is in the Cooking with Maggie cookbook, but I am going to change it up, make a few little changes in it. So this is Mississippi style jambalaya. It's not New Orleans or Louisiana style. So there are lots of different ways to make jambalaya, and generally kind of everybody has their own way of doing it. So I'm halving the recipe also because it's only for me, and I'll probably still have enough to share with my neighbor. But this is what I already had on hand. One small piece of smoked sausage. I'm going to put that in my skillet with the olive oil. I have 2 ribs of celery diced, a half bell pepper diced, and half an onion diced. And I like to use the celery sticks that are not right on the edge. Those have a very strong flavor. So I like the celery sticks that are on inside, and the top ones, the little ones on the inside there, have a much sweeter flavor. And I don't string my celery. I've seen some people who, when they're cooking, they string the stew out of their celery, and there's not much celery left. But in all honesty, when you get your celery diced and sliced, you're not going to have any strings in it. So I leave all of that good celery in. Now what I'm doing right now is adding the onion to the smoked sausage, and I'm going to cook the onion just until it starts to get opaque. So right now it's the diced sausage and the onion and a little bit of olive oil. And this is my pan of rice. I showed on the video on Memorial Day, I went ahead and cooked my rice ahead. So now all I have to do is put everything together. So the shrimp, on my jambalaya today, I'm going to use the little bit of smoked sausage, which was one small piece sliced in half and then sliced. I have just a little bit of chicken breast that I had left from cooking Maisie's lunch. And then I have 10 large shrimp. And I wanted mine to be mainly shrimp, but then I decided to put the sausage and chicken in it. So the shrimp I have is the Easy Peel raw shrimp. I got this at Kroger. It's extra large, and it's split down the back, so it really did peel easy and quick. So that's my shrimp. That's going to be my meat. And in addition to my celery, my bell pepper, and I also have some diced tomato that I'm going to put in it. And I went ahead and got everything diced. So I sliced all of my fresh vegetables on my cutting board first, and then I went to the meat and I cut my chicken into small little pieces, and the sliced sausage, and the shrimp, all I did was peel it. So the onion is beginning to get opaque, starting to get clear. Now I don't want to overcook my vegetables. I like for my vegetables to still have form and not be mushy. So I'm going to try to not overcook it. Now I'm going to add the chicken. I'm not going to put the shrimp in yet because it cooks so fast, but I am going to go ahead and add the chicken and cook the chicken pieces. And I'll put the shrimp in almost at the last and let it steam, because it steams so quickly. Now Mississippi jambalaya is probably not as highly seasoned as Louisiana is, but we like it. So different areas, I know if you go to different areas, there are also different ways. There's Cajun and there's Creole, and all of that is Louisiana, and I cannot really tell you the difference in it, but I can tell you I do not put okra in my jambalaya, and okra goes more in the gumbo. Gumbo is more of a soup, and when I make gumbo, I usually have chicken and shrimp and sausage in it too, but it is more of a soup, and I do put okra in my gumbo. Okay, my chicken is getting done. So this is really a quick meal. It really cooks up quickly because the vegetables cook quick, the chicken, the sausage. Okay. The chicken is starting to get white, so it is cooking. I'm going to turn my heat up on my stovetop burner just a little bit, get it a little bit warmer. Move Mr. Owl out of the way. Okay, I hope everybody had a very good Memorial Day. It was rainy here all day. We had woke up to thunderstorms. A big clap of thunder woke Maisie up. She went hightailing it. She's found a new hiding place. She's now going into my closet up under my hanging clothes, as far back in the corner of my closet as she can. I'm going to add the bell pepper and add the celery. and let that start steaming. It's not going to take that very long at all to cook. Oops, a little piece of celery jumped out of the skillet. Okay, so far I have one small piece of smoked sausage, about 2 tablespoons olive oil in the pan, half bell pepper diced, half an onion diced, and 2 ribs of the inside celery diced. Now I have my shrimp still on the side. I'm going to add it, and now I'm getting ready to add the chicken stock. Instead of chicken broth, I got a whole big box of, instead of chicken broth, I got the chicken stock. And the difference in the broth and the stock is just that the chicken stock has more ingredients in it, more nutrition, because the stock has vegetables that is cooked and boiled in with the chicken. So that's looking good. I'm going to go ahead and add my chicken stock, and I'm going to put, I'd say, approximately a cup. And since I'm modifying this recipe, I'm not making a full recipe. I'm going to kind of judge on how it looks, on how much I add of everything. So now I'm going to bring that to a boil. And this takes a lot of practice not to overcook the vegetables. I don't like my vegetables mushy. And I may have gotten the onion a little too done. Okay, so I'm bringing that to a boil. Now my broth has come back up to a boil, so I don't want everything to get mushy, so I'm going to go ahead and add the peeled shrimp. I have 10 peeled shrimp. Going to add my half. This was a really large tomato. This is the other tomato I got when I went to the produce market. So I'm going to add my half diced tomato. And after that, I will add the rice, and it will be done. Now, I'm not going to add seasoning into this right now because I want to taste it and see how it's going to taste. And I have been using Tony Chachery Creole seasoning for years and years and years. So that, along with Louisiana Tabasco sauce, is what we put on our black eyed peas, or anything that we want to be seasoned with pepper sauce. So I'm going to sprinkle this on after I get it done and adjust how much seasoning I want to how it's going to taste. So the shrimp is already starting to turn pink. Since it's been raining so much lately, and it's been raining this morning, my bluebirds are in and out of the house, in and out. So I hope I can take my camera out and video a little bit of the bluebird activity for you. I just love watching the mama and the daddy. The daddy bluebird is a bright, beautiful blue, and the mama bluebird is a little bit more gray on the back, but they both have the darker chest, kind of the red chest. Okay, I'm getting ready to go ahead and put my rice in here, and you can see the shrimp is already turning pink. So doesn't that look good, y'all? And my pan's getting full. I'm glad I'm only making half the recipe. So now to add the rice. And after I add the rice, I'm just going to put the lid on it and let everything steam for a little bit. So I have some of the rice left. And there again, you can adjust this to your taste. I think I cooked total 1 cup of rice, and I'm going to use, looks like maybe 3/4 of that. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat off. Put the lid on it and take it off the burner and just let it steam for a few minutes and let that shrimp get all the way pink. In the meantime, I'm going to set my table, get my drink, and get ready for lunch. Now the jambalaya is done, so I'm getting ready to spoon it up. And in the meantime, I have put a piece of my sourdough, my gold miner sourdough bread in the toaster oven, and I'm toasting it. Now see how beautiful and pink the shrimp is? So I'm going to spoon it up, take it to the table, and then adjust the Cajun seasoning to how I think it will look. Oh, this is going to be so good. So good, so good. Okay, y'all, I hope you're enjoying this cooking with me, and we're going to the table. So you see how this recipe is really, really quick and easy. So it helps to have all of your vegetables already prepped before you start cooking it, because everything cooks so fast. So there's my jambalaya. And if I had some French bread, I would use the crusty toasted French bread, but my gold miner sourdough bread fills in really, really well. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the Tony Chachery on, the Cajun seasoning, and see how much I think it needs. Now you notice I did not put any salt or pepper in while I was cooking, because the Tony Chachery has salt and pepper in it, plus a lot of other seasonings, and I just find it real easy to use this instead of making my own. So I really recommend the Tony Chachery. Lord Father, bless my food, thank you. So in Maggie's cookbook, I have several suggestions on how to teach your children on just mommy tips, and one is on setting the table. The napkin always goes on the left, it's folded. You have your fork on your left, F-O-R-K-L-E-F-T. The knife and the spoon go on the right, K-N-I-F-E-S-P-O-O-N-R-I-G-H-T. So that's how, it's a good way to teach children how to properly set the table and which side the fork goes on and which side the knife goes on. So that's just a little mommy tip, a freebie. Okay, now for dessert, I have bread pudding. So I'm keeping with the South Coast theme, and we're going to have bread pudding, and I'll put the recipe at the end on that also. So let's taste the jambalaya and see how everything is going. Can't wait. It's going to be so good. Still hot. Very good. My onion got just a little bit more done than I would like it, but otherwise the celery is still crunchy, bell pepper is still crunchy, and the tomato is not all mushy. So I hope you try this, and please let me know how you like it, and if you make any changes or variations on it. Now I'm making the bread pudding, and it's originally called the Ramada Inn bread pudding, which Ramada Inn was the name of a real famous hotel here. So I have 3 eggs. I'm going to beat the eggs, whisk them up. These are some eggs, some organic eggs I got at Costco, and the yolks are so orange. And I know from raising my own chickens and eggs that the orange yolk is really really good, because all of my chickens had orange yolks, and orange yolks, and they free ranged in the yard and in the pasture all under the horse's feet. I was so afraid they were going to get stepped on. But when they free range, they're free to eat the bugs and the grain off the ground. So what I'm using, it calls for 3 dinner rolls. Now my dinner rolls are the dinner rolls that I made. Actually, I made these in March. I don't use much bread, but this is my dinner roll, and I have 3 dinner rolls this size. So they're a little bit, I guess you could say, heavier or more dense than those light dinner rolls you get in the grocery store. But I have 3 dinner rolls that I've broken up into pieces. I have the 3 eggs whipped. So I'm going to put the bread into the eggs, and I need 3/4 cup sugar. So this is a 1/3 cup measurer, so a 1/3, and that's 2/3, and a little bit more to make it 3/4. Okay, and some vanilla. I like to use the real vanilla, pure vanilla extract, and pour the vanilla in. Now I will be making the rolls, the yeast rolls again next week. So tune in next week if you're interested in the yeast rolls. Now I'm going to add the milk until my rolls are very good and saturated, because I like my rolls to be very, very good and soaked. Have a lot of milk in there, and I really like to let them just sit a little bit and not just put it straight in the oven, but let it sit and let the rolls soak up all that good milk and sugar and vanilla. Then we put a little bit more milk. And in the meantime, before I started this, I have, where did my hot pad go? Maisie, what did you do with Mama's hot pad? Okay, so I melted a 1/4 cup butter, and this is my little baking dish. I got this so that I could have a baking dish small enough that it would be right just for me, just for one. So I'm going to leave a little bit of butter in there, so when I pour my bread pudding mix in there, the butter will come up around the sides of the pan. So Maisie, whatever you did with my hot pad, you did with my dishcloth. Okay, so Maisie decided to come and see what's going on, because again today she hears thunder in the distance, and we are having a very stormy, rainy day. I'm videoing this on Monday. It's actually Memorial Day today, but I won't post it until Wednesday, because it takes me a while to get everything videoed to do it and then edit it. So I don't have any raisins, so instead of raisins I'm using craisins, and that's just dried cranberries. Now I do have some dried apricots in my refrigerator, and I also have some dried dates. So if I wanted to, I could put dates or chopped up apricots. But today I'm going to use the cranberries. So this is what my mix is looking like. So I'm going to pour it in my dish, and that is just perfect amount. And this is, I believe this is a little 8-inch dish, but it's a small dish. It's not a 9 by 13, but it's a small dish. So for me, I had to get a smaller dish, and I like it because it has a little lid that clamps on, that when I put it in the refrigerator, the lid will clamp down on all 4 sides. Okay, so it's going to bake at 350 degrees. I already have my oven preheated when I was melting my butter, so now it's going to bake probably about an hour, but I'll go back in and check it. And it will puff up. With 3 eggs, it's going to puff up, but it won't stay puffed up because it will sink back down when it cools. But when it cools, I'm going to put butter on the top, sprinkle brown sugar on it, put it back in the oven, let the brown sugar kind of melt with the butter, and it's so good. I've been making this for, let's see, 50 years? Yeah, 50 years. Gosh, that's hard to believe. But since my children were growing up when I was 20 and I'm 80 now, so that's hard to believe. 60 years. Wow, 20 from 80 is 60. Well, I've been cooking this bread pudding for a long time. It's good. You'll like it. So the crochet project this week is going to be a little gift bag for either a bar of soap, a nice bar of soap, not just an ordinary, but a bar of soap, or you can a bottle of lotion or bath gel. And I've made a lot of these and given them away, and they make really nice gifts. I had gotten a special bar soap at Costco that smelled so good, and it was really, really good. And then I've also used the Amish Farm soap. So they make, if you get a little gift bag and put a bar of soap or a bottle of hand lotion in a little gift bag, put a candle in there, maybe some lotion, or anything that you think whoever you're giving it to would really like, a flower or something. But it's going to fit like this, so it will fit around a bottle of lotion or a nice special bar of soap. Now, I have gotten the Yardley lavender soap at Dollar Tree that I really like, and that would fit in here really well. So what I'm making it out of is the I Love This Cotton yarn. It's from Hobby Lobby, and it's real easy to work with. And my hook is the 4mm Susan Bates hook. So we're going to start on it. We're going to chain 30 plus 2, turn, and then do half double crochet starting in the 3rd stitch from the end, and then half double crochet all the way around and back and forth until we get it the size that we need it for the bottle. It's really easy, really fun. And another thing, I have made it out of variegated yarn. Now right now, the only variegated yarn I have is what I was making the baby blanket out of to go with the quilt. So I'm saving that for to go with the baby quilt. So that's why I'm using the yellow. I'm going to make it solid, but you can make it any color. The variegated really works up nice. Makes a lovely gift. So we're going to start by making a chain, and we're going to chain 30. So I'm going to make my slip knot, pull it down, and then just start chaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 27, 28, 29, 30 plus 2. 1, 2. Now we're going to go back into the 3rd stitch from the end and do a half double crochet. So we'll do yarn over, into the stitch, get the yarn, and then pull the yarn through all 3 loops on the hook. So that's a half double crochet. So we'll half double crochet all the way to the other end, and then I'll meet you there. So you get the loop and the stitch, get the yarn, pull it up, then grab the yarn, pull it through all 3 loops on the hook. Okay? So this is a really simple pattern, and it's going to be half double crochet all the way across. Now I have 2 stitches to the end, so I'm going to do a half double crochet in the next to the last, half double crochet in the last stitch. Sometimes that last one is kind of hard to get your hook in, but just push it through. And then we're going to chain 2, turn, and the first stitch on the next row is going to go right in this first little space. So yarn over, put your hook through that little space, go under both strands of yarn, yarn over, pull your yarn up, pull the yarn through all 3 loops, and then that's how you do your turning stitch. So now go all the way down this row, put the hook through the space under both strands of yarn, yarn over, and pull it through all 3 loops. So that's half double crochet, and we're going to go all the way to the other end with the half double crochet stitch. So be sure and put your hook through under both strands of yarn, not just the front strand or the back strand, but both of them. Okay, and I'll meet you back at the end. Now I'm to the end of this row, and this little project really goes fast. You can do it without a lot of thought or concentration. So I have to the end of the row. I'm going to go in the next to the last stitch, pull the yarn over, pull the yarn over. Now this is the last, so you will want to go in under both strands of yarn on the very end. Yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through. And that way you have a straight edge on both ends of your little project. So now that's the end of row 2. We're going to chain 2 and turn your work, yarn over. The first stitch will go right here and in the stitch and all the way through under both strands of yarn, under, all the way through. You can do that all the way to the other end, and I'll meet you back at the end. You can make one of these in a night, depending on how big you want it to be or how long. And when we get through with it, we're going to come back. We'll take a needle and thread and join it from the top down and across the bottom, and then we'll be through. But at the top, after you decide how long you want it, if you want it long enough for a bottle of body wash or a bottle of lotion, depending on what size your bottle is, keep going and just keep adding rows till you get it the size you want it. And then at the very top, we're going to do half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, chain 1, and then we're going to put a little drawstring around the top so we can close it, and then 1 or 2 more rows after that little eyelet row. So you know, it's very, very versatile. Now if you crochet tight, you might want to make your chain 35 stitches rather than 30. And if you're using a bigger hook, 30 would probably, well, it will give you a bigger little gift bag than I'm going to make. So it all depends on what size hook. The bigger your hook, the bigger it's going to be and the bigger your stitches will be. And if you use less than a 4mm hook, it will be smaller and tighter. So there you go. It's very versatile depending on how you make it. But this is kind of average size, and it makes a real personal. Everybody likes to have something that is handmade and that somebody knows that you spent time and love and your knowledge and your creativity in making something for them, and they really treasure it more than if you just went to the store and bought it. So, and I've given them to ladies, I've given them to men. They make great shower gifts, birthday gifts, Christmas, thinking of you just home from the hospital, new mom gifts, bridal, baby shower, just about anything you can think of. These are real handy. I've had some people say, since it's made with the cotton yarn, a couple of people I have given it to said they would use it as a bath mitt to put on their hand to, not really a bath cloth, but a bath mitt. So that's an idea too, if somebody wants to use it for a bath mitt. It's not a scrubby. And come to think of it, speaking of that, I have made little bath mitts for out of that scrubby yarn. And Hobby Lobby has the scrubby yarn too, and it makes a great exfoliator to really scrub off dead skin cells, and it feels real good, especially on your back. Okay, I'm to the end, and I'm going to yarn over, go into that last space or little stitch at the end, go under both strands of yarn, get your yarn, pull it through, chain 2, turn, get yarn over, go in that first stitch, get your yarn, and half double crochet. Okay, so we are already on row 1, 2, 3, we're already on row 4. And you can imagine how cute this is if you're using a variegated yarn. It just develops a pattern as you go. I've decided to make my little gift bag tall enough for a little bottle of body wash that will be about this size. So I have got 10 rows of half double crochet. So I'm now on row 11. So on row 11, I'm going to make a decorative stitch. So I've turned, I've got chain 2, half double crochet in the first stitch. Now I'm going to skip the next stitch, this next one. So I'm going to half double crochet in the second stitch. Now I'm going to half double crochet and come back to the stitch that I skipped. Skip one stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch, half double crochet, come back to the skipped stitch and do a half double crochet in that stitch. So this is going to make a decorative row here kind of in the middle, because I'm anticipating making 10 more rows before I get to the top. So skip a stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch, then back up, half double crochet in the skipped stitch. Okay, so that's going to make kind of an X cross stitch design across the middle of the little gift bag. So half double, skip the next stitch, half double crochet in the next one, then back up, half double crochet in the skipped stitch. It's really, really simple, and it really makes a cute little decorative row. People will think it's so complicated, but it's really not complicated at all. Let me know in the comments what you think about this little decorative stitch. I think it adds something cute and interesting in the design. And the half double crochet is such an easy stitch, and I really like it. You can see how pretty it looks. And it's bigger than the single, but not as big and loose as the double. And then on the next row, we'll resume and go back to half double crochet in every stitch. To the end of the row. Now, isn't that pretty? I think y'all will like that a lot. So we're going to chain 2, turn, and go back down this row, just like we did all the rows before. So now we're on row 12, and half double crochet in every single stitch all the way across. If you have any doubt whether you're adding or subtracting, or whether your rows are getting longer or shorter, just count your stitches at the end of the row, and you should have 30 stitches at the end of every single row. Now, I have just finished row 22 on the little crocheted gift bag. So there's the decorative row right there in the middle, and I think that makes it really cute. But I'm making this one longer so it will fit a bottle of either hand lotion or bath wash. Now, if I was making it for the specialty soap, I could have stopped right here, 2 rows after the decorative stitch. And a lot of times I can do that. I didn't have any soap available to make this one for that, but a lot of people now are not really fond of bar soap, and they're using body wash. So that's another reason to make it a little bit bigger so that it will fit a bottle. But when I use the bar soap, it smells so good. And I got it at Costco. One was citrus, one was an ocean, and I took it out of the wrapper, or it came in a box, and the Amish Farm soaps come in a big bag, and it smells good too. So I would put the bar of soap in there and then tie it, and it just smelled so good. So anyway, having said all of that, now on this row we're going to half double crochet, chain 1, and that's going to make the little eyelet row to run the drawstring through. So I've done my chain 2. I'm going to skip the first one, half double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, half double crochet, well, skip 1, and then half double crochet in the next one, chain 1, skip 1, half double crochet in the next stitch. So we'll do that all the way to the end. When we get to the end, we'll do our chain 2, turn, and do 1 more row of half double crochet all the way across. Now I'm to the end of the row, and I did my half double crochet, but I don't have enough room to chain 1 and do another one. So I'm going to just go ahead and put a half double crochet in that last stitch, chain 2, turn. Now we'll do a half double crochet all the way down. So on this row I did a half double crochet in the space, chain 1 space. Now I'm going to go into the top of that stitch right here, right past the chain, go into that stitch, make a half double crochet, go into the chain 1 space, half double crochet, go into the top of that stitch, half double crochet, and into the chain 1 space. Now we're to the end of the row, so count your stitches and you should have 30 stitches. So at the end of this row, we're going to chain 2, single crochet in the next stitch, chain 2, single crochet in the next stitch. This is going to make a little picot edge along the top. So chain 2, single crochet in the next stitch. So that's coming out with the top is going to be kind of a little ruffled edge along the top. So isn't that cute? That's going to look really cute. So do that all the way to the end. So single crochet, you don't get any loops on your hook first, but you take your hook, go directly into the next stitch, yarn over, pull the yarn through, and pull the yarn through. To the end, I did a single crochet, chain 2. Now I'm going to single crochet in that very last stitch, pull the yarn through, stitch, and pull it through one more time and pull it down snug. Now I'm not going to cut my yarn because now I'm going to take the yarn and go down the side and close the bag. Then I'll get my yarn needle and sew it together. So now I have my tapestry needle threaded with my yarn. So I have lined up the beading row, the eyelet row. So I've lined it up. I'm going to take my needle and go under 2 strands of yarn and then go to the other side. And I don't want to pull it tight because I don't want to make I don't want it to bunch up. But after I open it, I want it to be able to lay flat. So if you can see, we're going to line up each row, go under 2 strands of yarn, go under 2 strands of yarn, and then pull the yarn down. And that's about as tight as we want it because we want that seam to lay flat. So under 2 strands of yarn, 2 strands of yarn, and pull it down. Okay, now I'm just pulling it out like that just so you can see that we're going to line it up. And I want the seam to lay flat. I don't want it to be drawn up and tight. So I can go back to lining everything up. Line up the specialty row, the decorative row, and get that lined up where the stitches will be even. And then continue stitching all the way down the side, lining up each row, and go under 2 strands of yarn on one side, 2 strands of yarn on the other side. Okay, and go all the way down to the corner. Okay, I haven't seen hide nor hair of Maisie in quite a while. I can start to hear the thunder now, so she'll come and check on me, make sure I'm still in here, and then go back to wherever she's hiding, probably up under my bed. That's her favorite hiding place. Okay, now another thing you can do, which I've done before, is take some of my sewing pins and just sew, and then just pin the edges together to keep them straight. So this is really easy. It's not going to be really hard. But we're almost through. We have a beautiful little gift bag. Made it all the way down the side. I'm to the end, so I'm going to turn. And this little piece of yarn that was my very beginning stitch, I'm going to put it along the top and stitch over it to cover it. So now I'll continue to go under 2 strands of yarn, under 2 strands of yarn, and close the bottom. Then after that, we will make a chain for the drawstring, and our little gift bag will be finished. So if you decide if you like this little project and you don't want to make it for a bottle, just make it smaller and you can put whatever you want in it. And you don't have to do the decorative row. You can just do straight half double crochet all the way down. And especially if you're using a variegated yarn, it's just as cute because the variegated yarn develops its own pattern, and it's really, really cute. I like using the variegated yarn on the little gift bags like this. So let me know what you think in the comments, and I hope you like this project, and I hope you make lots and lots of them for showers, for birthdays, for welcome neighbor gifts, for new mom gifts, and it's even good for men. You can put aftershave, put some Old Spice, and some cologne, or even a can of shaving cream in here would be nice. A razor, whatever you think the man that you're giving it to would like. And it can also be used for children, so we don't have to leave the children out. They like a little squeaky rubber ducky to put in the bathtub, or you could put spoon in a bowl, or some baby food, or some little pack of goldfish crackers for an older child. So the possibilities of how to use these little bags are just limitless to what you think who you want to give it to. Okay, so I'm all the way to the end, and now I'm getting ready to tie a knot, and we will go next to crochet the drawstring. So to tie my knot, I'm not going to tie a knot per se, but the way I'm going to end it, the way I did when I was doing the coasters, I'm going to go back in the other direction along the stitches, then turn and go back in the other direction along the stitches, and that's going to anchor your yarn where it's not going to go anywhere. And then one more time I'm going to go under and then go all the way down to the corner and run my running yarn through. So there we go, I'm through with that. And now I'm going to cut the end off of both of the yarns. Cut that long end off and cut that long end off. And I did mine where I'm going to turn it because one side of the decorative stitch is a little bit higher than the other, so it kind of bumps up. So I did it where the decorative stitch is going to be raised. So there we go. There is that little gift bag. There's my bottle of lotion. I'm going to slip it in. We'll put the drawstring through the top, and I'll meet you back here. And I'm sure all of you know how to do your chain. We're just going to do a row of chain for the drawstring, and no pattern, just make a slip knot and then chain until we think we have a long enough drawstring. So just the running chain stitch, that's all we'll need. And we don't need it real long, we just need it long enough to go around the top of the little gift bag and then long enough to tie a bow. So we'll see how long that is. So I'm going to make my little chain 14 inches long, Now, if you want yours longer, you can go ahead and chain some more and make it longer. Or if you don't want it that long, then stop before you get there. So that's what I'm going to do. And now I'm through with the chain. I'm going to put a knot in the end of the yarn so it won't unravel. And trim that off, trim the end. And put a knot in the end of the yarn on the other end. And trim it off. So now I'm going to start on the edge, on the seam edge, and just take the chain and just run it through. So we're going to run it in and out through the beading, all the way around. So just weave it through, and we are through. All you need to do now is just put your little personalized name tag on it and decide what you want to put in it, what you want to use it for. And there are just many, many, many ways you can use it. So there we go. Okay. So I'm going to draw it down. Tie a bow in it. And there's your little gift bag. Now this one is, I have a little bit of extra room at the top of my lotion bottle. So if you have your lotion bottle or bath wash, whatever you're going to put in it with you, then you can measure it. It takes about that much to go around the bottom of it. So when you put it in, you can allow that much to go around the bottom and then make your little gift bag. Isn't that cute? I just love that. I think it is so cute. And I hope you enjoy that little project, and let me know what colors you decide to use and what you decide to put in it. Well, I have everything finished on this visit to Retired Happy, and I need to make a postscript. So this is a PS. This is what I found out after we had finished everything. On my jambalaya, my rice was already cooked, so my jambalaya came up being a little more soupy than I wanted it to be. So my suggestion is, when you're making yours, if you're starting out with raw, uncooked rice, you can use the full amount of liquid. But if your rice is already cooked, like mine was, which is the way I prefer to do it, I prefer to have my rice already ready, then I can add it when my vegetables and my shrimp and chicken is the right doneness. That way I don't want my vegetables and my shrimp overcooked. So cooking is more about judgment and looking at it and seeing how it looks and seeing how it tastes than it is following a recipe exactly. So on the bread pudding, my son called and I left my bread pudding in the oven too long. So it was drier than I wanted it to be. So today I chopped up my bread pudding, cut it all up, and I took a can of evaporated milk and poured it, ended up using about half a can of evaporated milk. And just after I chopped up my bread pudding, stirred it, well, didn't stir it up, but I put the evaporated milk over the pieces and then put it in the microwave and let it cook just a little bit, and it came out perfect. In fact, I like it better this way than if it had not overcooked and it had been one solid piece. So sometimes you discover a whole new recipe by something not working out the way it was supposed to. And then finished my little gift bag that I was making for my sample, and I'm going to show you how it looks and how many rows it ended up being. And I used the Amish Farm soap in it, and I'll tell you how I do that. So thank you so much, and I hope this little PS didn't ruin everything, but I felt like I had to add that on this video while it was showing the originals. So this is the modified bread pudding, and it has a little bit of sauce over it because I added the evaporated milk after I just took my spoon and cut it all up into little pieces. So it basically is kind of what I did to start with, just baking up the rolls and cooking it. So I like it this way better than cooked solid. So this is my jambalaya, and I put the Tony Chachery seasoning on top of it. This is the Creole seasoning, and what it has in it is a little bit of salt, cayenne pepper, onion and garlic powder, and I keep it in my refrigerator all the time. I put it on my tomato sandwiches. I put it on top of the tuna pasta salad I fixed. So it's just a really good seasoning that I keep on hand. And this is the finished smaller version of the crochet gift bag. And this one is the same design. I didn't put the decorative row around it because it's smaller and not as tall, but I did everything else exactly the same, have the little draw tie in it. And what I have in it is a bar. These are very large bars, and this is the Amish Farm soap, and it smells really good. When I put it in the bag, I leave it out of, it doesn't come in a wrapper because this is a bag of 5 bars. So I put that in there, and then when I'm using it for a gift, I put this on top of my copier, and I make a copy of that and fold it up and put it inside the bag so whoever I give it to will know what it is, because the Amish Farm soaps are really a good quality soap and everybody likes them. So that's the way I do the gift bag. And this one was the cotton yarn, I love this cotton yarn, and the same size hook. So there you go. I hope you enjoy these projects and the jambalaya and the bread pudding. So here we sit. It's the end of the evening. I've been watching the bluebirds in and out of the house, in and out of the house. So I hope all of you had a good Memorial Day, and I will see you on Wednesday. So the daddy bluebird is at the door, and the mommy bluebird is sitting on the fence. So it's just so interesting how they take turns watching their babies and feeding and taking care of their babies. They're such dedicated little parents. There goes the mommy bluebird back up to the house. So we're back from our walk, and we're sitting on our front porch now. Hi, Maisie. Yeah, good girl.